Okay, everybody, this is a totally not last minute deck tech. We are not at our hotel, and it is not the day before Nationals. We actually recorded this
It's the day of Nationals.
20 minutes till the day of Nationals. Okay, Oliver's going to go over his deck. He's not really feeling super confident in it, but we're forcing him to make content anyway. Oliver, go ahead. Let's talk about your deck.
Yeah, Dromai. That's everyone already knows that. Okay. Equipment is going to be Crown of Providence, Storm, Silken Form, Stilettos in sideboard, Furnace, Footsteps, and Ghostly Touch in sideboard. I use Crown over Arcanite Skullcap just because of the utility. Storm because you don't really use anything else. Flamescale Furnace for the tank. Silken Form for the extra dragon, which is nice, and Quell, which is very good for attack reactions. So like Ancestral Empowerment, others, and breaking skills and stuff. And Footsteps because I like it.
It's gold and shiny.
It's gold and shiny. You're right. Stilettos is used for Arcane Barrier. Some people use like what is it? What's that one card? Norman Gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah, they use Norman Gloves for Arcane Barrier. I personally like Stilettos because we don't have gold foil or cold foil Norman Gloves. So
That's true.
let's use these. And then Ghostly Touch for Spooky Fingers. For the Guardians. So what you see here are the reds that you'll play in your main deck. There are some occasions where you want to take some cards out, such as Rake the Embers, Command and Conquers, or Sigil of Solaces. I'll go over those matchups later probably, if we remember which matchups they are. But these are going to be the cards that you want to see most of the time for your reds. As for the blues, we have... Let me take these out. Blues, we have 3 Embermaw Senpais, 3 Enigma Chimeras, 3 Sweeping Blows, 2 Pursuit Knowledges, and 3 Passing Mirages. The reason why my blues look a lot different than other people's is because I feel like my all blue hands are really weak. So I took out like the Billowing Mirages, which are admittedly good in the mirror. But yeah, against other heroes like Fi, you're drawing all blue will kill you. So I have some heavy hitters in blues. So these will be, how much is this? 14 blues. Then I have 2 blues in sideboard. So yeah, this is pretty much the main deck. Yeah, there are some considerations that I have that I was considering. I was considering cutting like 1 Nekria, 1 Vynserakai for some extra slots, but it is way too late to make changes right now. I've already made some very late last minute changes already. So yeah. That's what we have so far.
So let's talk about matchups then. We'll start with the highest performing ones. Oldham. What's your Oldham and Bravo? I guess they're kind of similar.
Hold on, we need to actually set up the sideboard.
Yeah.
Well, to be easy, just add everything. So we have these, this, and this. So this is the sideboard. Against Bravo and Oldham the Guardians, you'll be using everything. At least I am. There is some consideration of taking out Dust Up because that's a chain ender. You usually want to just be attacking with the dragon and getting it popped. But having a non-phantasm attack is very nice to have every once in a while. I added Blaze Headlongs over Race Faces recently because I felt like the Race Faces weren't doing enough in other matchups, and I needed the aggression and the non-phantasmal attacks. And then, in theory, I can do Blaze Headlong after a dragon and then set down a time snap potion, which is nice. You'll be using your defense reactions a lot against the Guardians because they have a lot of dominant attacks and a lot of on-hits. And then these will be also going around their dominated attacks. Remembrance is usually going to be getting back Passing Mirages, Miragais, or Cromais, depending on what you have left in your deck. And the time snap potions are really important for the Ghostly Touch combo, where you do time snap potion, Passing Mirage, attack with Ghostly Touch. Assuming you have like at least 12 counters on it, but yeah, it's pretty annoying to pull off. I took out Semblances just because it's very annoying to pitch stack, and yeah, time snap potions also help as acting as pseudo Cromais. Yep.
Okay, and that's the same for Oldham and Bravo, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha. Okay, let's talk about Icelander then.
Icelander. So Icelander is one of the matchups where I take out 3 CNCs. They are very costly. They are sometimes good because Icelanders really want to race you sometimes. So they would arsenal like a red, but I would take out 3 CNCs from the main deck. And since there are 52 cards in the main deck, as per usual, taking 3 out leaves you with 49, so you need to put 11 in. So since I'm not running Footsteps, I'm actually running Stilettos. I don't run the Phantasmal Go Again stuff, and yeah, so I can't run these. So for the 11, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Add more blues, some extra on hits and on phantasmal attacks, get some aggression in, and Uvia will generate you your Arcane Barrier.
Do you ever use Tanzanite Potion in that matchup?
There are times when you just play it and hope that they just because you have nothing else. But it was useful. It might have been useful against Yuki in one of our recent games, but I think she said that she had a way to kill my dragon anyways, even if after she did pop it, because she had another attack in arsenal or arcane damage in arsenal. But yeah, it is useful for getting around poppers, depending on how many poppers they run.
Cool. So speaking of arcane damage, let's talk about Rune Blades, Vynserakai and Briar.
Yeah. So against Vynserakai, I actually run Stilettos because you need the dedicated arcane barrier. They'll be doing a lot of Modern Sky shenanigans, so they'll be killing all your dragons. For Vynserakai, I run 3 Sync Belows. I think I run something similar to this. So these are 8 cards. I just keep everything in of the main deck, and then I choose these 8 cards. Aggression on hits, and getting these the Sync Blows are for the breakpoints.
Yep.
For Briar, I actually run Footsteps. I depend on my Rake the Embers for Arcane Barrier, since they don't do a lot of arcane damage. They do, some of them do run Revel, some of them are running the Explosive Growths. But yeah, I tested it out Blaze Headlong instead of Dunebreaker Senpais. Tonight, I feel like you can use either. If you are afraid that they're going to be very aggressive and you're going to be falling behind, then Dunebreaker Senpai is the right choice. If you think you can stay aggressive, then you want to have the Blaze Headlongs and the Dust Ups. Sync Blows are for the breakpoints, obviously.
Yep. Okay, awesome. Let's cover some of the lesser played decks. What about Dorinthia?
Dorinthia? So Dorinthia is one of the exceptions, where I take out 3 Sigil of Solace and 3 Rake the Embers. And that puts us to having, 8 plus 6? 14 cards. So I need to select 14 cards. Usually the strat is to play 1 big dragon at a time, and then block out the second swing after they kill the dragon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You want the defense reactions for defense, and you want this aggression and easy, effective, cost-effective attacks. So you have the 0 for 4s, you have the 0 for 4s, and you have the 1 for 5s, etc.
Gotcha. No sand cover though?
No sand cover. It depends on your Ash generation. If you feel like your Ash generation is good, you can add them in over Dust Ups. But yeah, usually you want to play the life advantage game. You want to have a lot of life first, and then once they are below a certain threshold of life, I say usually around 20, then you can start racing, slapping it down multiple dragons in one turn, and then try and race from there.
Okay. Let's cover the ninjas, Fi and Katsu. Is there any difference in approach to them?
Yes. Against Katsu, he does a lot of discarding effects, or he has a lot of discard effects, so it's easier to fatigue him. So I don't remember what I put in, not the time stamp put in because I don't block, but I think I take out the rakes against Katsu. Take out the rakes, but keep everything else in for the regular main board. Everything else goes in. Yep. You can easily fatigue them, just wait until their last Mugenshi is pretty much used up, and then you can start slamming down dragons. Yeah, you should have enough, way more plenty of cards in your deck to fatigue them. Once they hit the all blues, they'll just be doing Kodachi, then 2 power attack. I have fatigued our local Katsu many times, and he's also beaten me. So it's not a guaranteed strat, but it is the most effective one.
What about Fi? Fi's probably the more relevant one.
Yeah,
right?
Fi being the more relevant one. We just tested that tonight. I'd take out 3 Sigil of Solaces, 3 Rake the Embers, so that means putting in 14 again.
Yep.
Yep. So put into 6 defense reactions. I think it was actually like this, just like Dorinthia. The Blaze Headlongs help in the aggression. Dust Ups has good on hits and blocks for 3. There's also good blocking for 3 and cost-effective attacks.
Is there ever concern where you play Dust Up and they attack your Ashwing for the mask?
You don't transform it unless they're really low and you need to push damage.
Gotcha.
Against Katsu, I don't really play a lot of dragons. Against Phi, I try to slam a few number of dragons. They might get their on hits, but that means that they're using cards to kill your dragons, and then your dragons also represent threats on the board. So you want to see Kylorias, you want to see your Vynserakais, you want to see your sometimes your legendary dragons if you can put them down safely.
Okay, cool. Let's see, what else? What other matchups are there?
Reiner.
Yeah, Reiner.
Reiner. So I tested this with Sam Dando like a couple of times a long time ago. I feel like it's 50-50. You have plenty of defense reactions. You don't really run these because they don't do the barrage and beatdown shenanigans.
Yeah, they don't turn it off.
Yeah. But you want to have the defense reactions, you want to have the aggression, the non-phantasmal attacks, and obviously the poppers. You might not need Remembrance, and you just pretty much run this plus your regular decks, or you actually go above 60 in this case. Going above 60 will allow you to outlast them a little bit, but also if you set down a Passing Mirage, then they are forced to roll Scab Skins if they don't have Go again. So using Passing Mirage as a tempo card is sometimes very good, and then obviously Miragai is very good because of Phantasmal attacks. So you don't really need Ghostly Touch in that matchup. They won't be popping a lot because if they pop a lot, then they won't be able to discard. I tested it against you, Ichin, when you're on Levia, and I think my Ghostly Touch only got up to 4.
Yeah, it's not really relevant.
Yeah. You want to hold back your dragons, wait till you have a Cromai or a good Miragai setup, and then you swing out.
Yep. Okay, what about the mirror match?
The mirror match, these 8 cards. Screw defense reactions. Blaze Headlongs is great for killing dragons, is great for killing dragons, is great for killing dragons.
Gotcha. Any considerations about Uvia?
Oh yeah, and this. So you would be at 61, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I should do run this. Yeah, the mirror is all about, depending on the mirror, I guess, but most mirrors are just about playing dragons and killing dragons, playing dragons and killing dragons. So it's a kind of a slog, but it's not as bad as the Prism mirror where you can get totally steamrolled out and out tempoed. So there is chances for you to come back. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, I think about what covers it. There's a couple other fringe heroes like Kano and Bolton, but if you want, do you have a specific strategy into either of those?
Bolton you can fatigue out, honestly. Mm-hmm. Depending on the rating, you can fatigue them. If they're sabers, you can go aggression.
Yep.
I would probably just board in the same and then try and adapt as best as possible. Kano, I'm not running Optimai, so you can just try and aggro them down. Do they run Dampen? I have no idea.
I don't think so.
So they have Dampen, they have, what's that new, Aether Dart?
Yep.
And I don't know what else they got that targets dragons, but you can try and race them down. You have Sand Carvers and Oasis Respites to block against the big combo turns like the Aether Wildfire and stuff. Mm-hmm. So your sideboard for Kano will be looking at exactly like Icelander.
Okay, and then last but not least, the Rangers.
Oh, Rangers.
Oh yeah, and also Dash. I forgot about Dash.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with Rangers. So let's see. I think I run Footsteps, so you can run these safely. Depending on what you want to do, aggression versus defensive, because these block for 3. This is just pushing damage. You can probably just go for this, honestly. If you want to use the Blaze Headlongs to push damage, then you can always do that. But I feel like the defense is much more attractive. There is merit to having multiple defense reactions, but against Lexi, if they put a channel like Frigid down, then those will be pretty
bad.
Yeah, and then the extra frostbites might be annoying, but you can fatigue them easily. But you will also gain a lot of tempo just by playing dragons. Against Azalea, pretty much the same thing. Yeah.
And then Dash.
Dash. So if they're a Pounder Dash, you can fatigue them easily. If they are Boost Dash, then you can... Sorry, that's the same thing. If they are Pistol Dash, then you can slap down a bunch of dragons and kill them. So I think my 8 would be these. These Sync-Belows can easily be Blaze Headlong just to be pushing damage and aggroing them down. But since you don't really know what they are, Sync-Belows is a safe bet. Most of the time I just slam dragons unless they're going full aggro with pounders. Then the good thing about this deck is that most of the stuff blocks for 3. So you can fatigue them out if they're going boost. Yep.
Okay, cool. Anything else you want to say before you go 1-2 in the calling?
1-2 in the calling.
Yeah. Well, Nationals first.
Nationals first.
Drop out Nationals first, and then
Yeah.
1-2 in the
Yeah.
calling.
I don't think Dromai actually has a lot of legs. I feel like people still don't know how to play against her.
Yeah.
But yeah, she doesn't. From our point of view, I guess my point of view, she doesn't really have a lot of good matchups into a lot of the meta characters. I think people are just not playing against her correctly. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm not too hopeful about my performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, cool. Well, that's about it. Yeah. This will be probably uploaded by the time we wake up, hopefully.
Okay, we got 3 minutes until midnight.
All right.
There's no way we can upload this.
Okay, let's try it.
All right, see ya.